Good morning. Happy Easter. Here I am in my Easter outfit. I'll be soon walking around my complex and greeting people. I must say that I look on Easter as a holiday like everybody else. I take it in my stride. Now, because I don't belong to a religion, so my beliefs about Easter are sort of, vague maybe, or don't really know. I'm from Utah, and I was raised a Mormon, but on my father's side, his father, my great-grandfather, they were a band of natural-born skeptics. And I remember they would debate whether the existence of even God at the dinner table. They would be talking about politics, and my grandfather would never even set foot in church, but he did well on his ranch, and he made a point of going around and giving cash gifts or whatever to the needy. So this helped to get him accepted in the community in spite of his skepticism. But when I started developing a pretty skeptical nature before I'd even turned 8 years old, this was viewed as somewhat differently. I started it started when I was supposed to make a trip to the temple to be, as children, to be baptized for the dead. And I'd heard, I naturally was familiar with this belief, but when I actually had to go do it, I just couldn't help but question. This just doesn't make sense. All these people not able to go to heaven until we have gone to the temple and had them baptized in some kind of ceremony that will turn them into Mormon so they can get in heaven. Now, I just thought this idea, well, I was pretty skeptical that whole trip. And the more I thought about it, the more I thought, I'm just going to have to tell the bishop that I can't be baptized at 8 years old. I don't believe. Well, the very thought of telling my mother, who had quite a temper, that I didn't believe the Mormon church enough to be baptized was pretty daunting. So I wondered, and I'd never even heard of any other little 8 years old that told their mother and dad up there that they didn't believe enough, so they weren't going to be baptized. And in fact, the Mormon parents just sort of hustled their children down there and said, "You're going to be baptized, and that's it." And so I just agonized over whether I could stand up for my belief that I didn't believe. And then my mother, she must have sort of sensed rebellion. So she asked her really good brother, who was going on a mission, or had been on a mission, to come down and baptize me special. And so when I heard that, I thought, oh, I can't hurt his feelings. He's been on a Mormon mission for 2 years. Oh, I guess I'm going to have to be baptized, even though it's against my principles. So I did consent to be baptized. And but after that, I still didn't feel any more like a believer than before. So I started struggling really bad But my dad by then had become quite a bad alcoholic, which was disgusting. Why were all the well, my grandfather did drink, so he was okay in my eyes, but I told my dad, as Jack Mormon, why do all the skeptics have to drink? And, well, sure as anything happened, if they rebelled, they'd be out getting drunk. And I said, I'm a skeptic, but I am never going to drink, because nobody respects you or pays a bit of attention to you if you get drunk every Saturday night. And so I told my dad, and because he was one of the offenders. And our cousin, who's absolutely brilliant, he turned out to be an alcoholic. I said he could have been president of the United States if he hadn't drunk. So what's the good of being smart and debating and saying this isn't true and that isn't true if you're just going to go out and make a great big fool of yourself every weekend? Well, this didn't go over too well. But my dad was used to us being disgusted with him when he comes staggering home saying that he hadn't had a drop, and that was a great big fat lie. So I thought, well, there's some skeptics that just lie their teeth out. I mean, if my dad was staggering, he would never admit to being drunk. And so I didn't really respect some of these skeptics. Disrespect for the truth either. But anyway, my grandfather, who wouldn't even set foot in a church because he didn't believe, he did well on his ranch, and so he would give generous cash gifts or help out people that fell on hard times. So he was accepted in the community despite his skepticism. But me, a little old skeptic, of course they expected that of a king of my family. They knew that we were under the bad influence of our skeptical relatives that weren't really church members. And I said, well, I think I'm going to have a really hard life as a skeptic in Utah. So I decided later on that I would leave the state because Utah was settled by Mormons. The whole state was full of Mormons. So I did not see that I was going to have an easy time being a skeptic up there ever. So I left and I moved to Arizona, and where there was a large Mormon population, so I see Mormons every now and then, and there was a lot of other churches. Well, I started going to other churches to see if I couldn't become a Christian, just, a Catholic or well, Foursquare, we went to that. And I was absolutely shocked at what they did in their churches. I'd heard about them. They'd call them holy rollers. Well, my sister and I happened to go to probably one that would qualify as a holy roller. And I just couldn't get over how they carry on and talk about, well, Jesus this, Jesus that, Of course, Mormons didn't really do that because they had the Book of Mormon they had to sell, which is a hard sell. So they didn't really, they just assumed that everybody believed in Jesus, so they didn't really. But when I got to Christian churches, I just never heard such stuff. I could see what they preached about those holy rollers. So I thought, I just don't think I can belong to a holy roller church. I just can't. Well, I found out that I was a skeptic about a whole lot of other stuff too, like Jesus, was I able to accept the fact, the idea that He's the only begotten? This to me did not, well, I don't know. I mean, I just got stopped right there. I just couldn't go any further. And then, to top it all off, the pastor of the church and 4 people went across a bridge during a flood, and they all went down. Well, that was terribly upsetting. And I thought, well, this is a good time for me to make my exit here. And so ever since then, I've just kind of been, so when I say Happy Easter, I might not be saying it in the same context as everybody else, but I enjoy it as a holiday. I can be polite about what other people believe, and I can enjoy getting dressed up in my Easter bonnet and going for it. So, Happy Easter to you, and have a lovely day.